there's water leaking all over the place. What's all this? What is, oh, that's rust, okay, woo! Thought that was something else. There's water running down and you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do? What do I do? Okay, the first thing that you'll probably want to do is come down here, because it's going to keep running and your tank's going to keep trying to fill up. And all toilets, well, if they've been done properly, they'll have a shutoff valve. If it's on, it's up like that. If it's off, it's like that. So anyways, to stop the water flow, that's the first thing. Turn off that valve. So once you have that valve off, what you want to do, you want to flush the toilet. If there is a lot of water in here, flush it all out. We'll go down into the bowl. I might as well take this off. So there's two bolts that hold that on. I took one out so you can actually see right there. That really light spot that goes right through. So that's one of the bolts. These were so corroded, they didn't even have a head on them. I only have one out so far because I just wanted to show you. And so the other one, we have to take that out. But before I take that last one out, a few things we want to do. Let me get set up. Okay, so the water's off. Then go up here. This attaches to the tank. That's part of the fill line. And we want to take this off. These, if they've been done properly too, it's just plastic threads and it should come off easy. And there we go. So you're gonna get some water running out. That's normal. But at least that's off now. And so once you have that off and all ready to go, and that's when you want to start taking out these bolts. Now, the nut on the bottom for this one was 14 millimeters. Normally they have the top of the bolt is just like a flathead screwdriver, but mine are totally rusted off. So, I can't really show you with a flathead screwdriver because there's nothing for it to go onto. So let me get this last bolt out and then we'll pull this tank off. Okay, so this is where we're at. I have those two bolts out. Remember, I unhooked the water connection. Water's off. So the tank should just pull straight up, which it did. And I'm gonna show you, really not much to see in here, but there is a bunch of dirt. We're gonna have to wash that out. I'm on a well system and this tends to happen. You get corrosion, iron, and what you're gonna see, this is all just iron, so don't think it's anything other than that. But that's all the iron and the rust and corrosion. I'm just checking to see these mounting points look good on here. And I'm looking up underneath the tank. I'll spin this around. Make sure it's looks good and there's no cracks. So what we can tell from this, obviously, is it was leaking on both sides. And so yeah, it needed replacing. So I'm also, so I'm gonna have to go pick up a kit, gasket kit and a bolt kit. And also, well, this toilet looks pretty simple. That's all it has is that one washer. It looked like it was sealing fine, no issues there. And yeah, I'm just wondering, this thing might even be fine to be reused. Really doesn't look like it's has any damage to it. It's still soft and flexible. This toilet isn't that old. But yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Holy cow. So let's go get some bolts and we'll talk a little bit more. Okay, so before we get into some really interesting stuff I came across, I just wanted to tell you I tried to get this rust off just using some CLR, but I found a scouring pad because the CLR wouldn't take it off. I mean, it's on porcelain or ceramic, probably, I'm not sure which, but this scrubbing pad seems to take off this surface rust. And really it should not stain because ceramics and porcelains, if they're shiny like this, they shouldn't stain. So this should all come off. I mean, if you don't want to clean it, don't, but from the outside, this is visible here. So it just looks gross, right? It looks like there's some nasty stuff was going on there. Well, nasty stuff was going on, but some people won't understand what it was, which is rust. So this seems to work really well. So let's get into some real discussion here. Got some real important things. Okay, everyone, so sometimes the best way to show someone how to repair something is to show them how to put it together. And so we're going to do that here. I have, I'll add in some of the disassembly stuff, but really, these are really the big points that I want to cover here. So this is the toilet here. I have the tank off, and really strangely, most toilets have a beveled shape in there, and this type of seal you'll need to go there. But this toilet doesn't have that, and I looked everywhere, I couldn't find one. The old one is just simply flat, and it sits on there like that. Then the tank has a bit of a piece that pushes through there. The old one, I believe it's in good enough shape. I'm going to reuse it because I could not find a proper one. So that's point one, which I found weird. So if you run into this situation, keep your old parts. You might need them. Now, let me just reposition this camera. Okay, so now here's the tank itself. And this is the original gasket, which fits on like this. This other one, yeah, you could fit it on. It kind of looks like how it's supposed to be, but as I said, on normal toilets, when you put it on there, it also has a beveled shape on the toilet, so, and it fits in nice, and it's not the case. So I will not use this. This, I don't believe it would work, so again, use the old one. Now the other very strange thing I found, so there's the two bolts that hold the toilet on, and we'll get into that, but this is the original one. This is everything. So this rubber piece, that fits inside the bowl. There's two of them on each side. It comes out here, and then you mount it onto the actual toilet. The top of the bolts, they're totally gone. If you can see that, they should look, the top should look like this. Totally gone. And so that's a problem. It's gonna cause leaks. And the second thing is, this is how a fully assembled unit looks like. And basically, so you put this in this sequence, so you put the bolt in, you put the rubber washer there, feed that through, and then you would slide up another rubber washer, and then a steel washer, and then you would tighten it on, and it would seal it together there. And then at the very bottom, when you mount it onto the actual toilet, it might be a nut or a wing nut. I love these wing nuts. Tighten it by hand so you're not going to over tighten and break things. And plus you'll need a washer on there. This one did not have two gaskets or two seals, nor did it have the metal washer. No bolt to hold that together so that the tank didn't leak. It just simply went in and then all the way through the tank, through the toilet, and then it tightened up way out there. So you can see, I don't know what's going on. I always come across like the weirdest things. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll put this in. Put both of them in initially, just before we mount it onto the toilet. I'll show you how to do that real quick. It's very easy. Just gonna need a flat-headed screwdriver and a little wrench to tighten up this nut here. And let's get at her. Hang on, I'll get things lined up. Okay, so again, this is the bottom. So I'm gonna take this. A lot of guys say you should put a metal washer up here, but the head on these, they're big enough, you don't need one. And plus, when this washer goes onto here, it's like a solid, smooth surface with a bit of a curvature in there, and that will actually help this washer seal much better than if you put a washer up here. So it's not necessary. Okay, so this is ready to go. I'm going to put the first one in. All right. Oh, it took me a second to find that. Okay, so we have the bolt in. Now, put on your next rubber washer. Like that. Put on this metal one. Very important to have the metal washer on the outside here. Super important. Okay, and it feels fairly centered. Take your screwdriver. So I have it on the head there. Take a little wrench, and these you don't ever want to go crazy tight with stuff. Just snug it up. Watch the washer, it's going to compress a tiny bit. These washers aren't real soft rubbers, so keep that in mind also. So we're getting a little bit of compression in there. And I think that feels good. Again, not too tight. Yeah, that should be good. All right. So all we're going to do, repeat that on this side. Okay, so that's step one. All right, I'm going to set up the camera and we'll go ahead and finish this up. There's not much left to do. It's pretty easy. Okay, so I just have the tank sitting up top here, and there are the two holes. I put on the gasket, and it's going to stay there as long as you kind of, if you get it on there properly, it will stick up there in place. And we're just going to move that over, set it on there, line the bolts up. And there we have it. Okay, so there's the first side. So it's just as simple as put the washer on first and put the swing nut on. And at this point, you know, make sure the tank itself, it's sitting nice and level. It feels like it's sitting there nicely. And then what you want to do, these wing nuts are just really great. Don't tighten it, just like don't tighten it down. Just get it so that it just starts to pull. And then go around to the other side and put that one in. I'm going to do that off camera. Okay, so now what you want to do, the other one is just slightly tightened also. So you want to come back to this side, give it a bit of a turn. Then I'm going to go to the other side. Tighten that one a bit. And then come back. Tighten this one a bit. And just keep going back and forth until they're snug up. You know, fairly tight with your fingers. That's all you need to do. Okay, so I checked the toilet tank. Actually, if there's a little bit of water in there, you can actually look. That also tells you if it's nice and level because the water's even in there. I just had a little residual water in there and it evened out nice, but all we have to do now, we have to hook up the water supply. Remember, this is plastic. Make sure it's going in nice and straight. It should not be hard to turn. If it's hard to turn, it's cross-threaded. So anyways, it's snugging up, And again, don't over tighten. Just use your fingers. And that actually feels good. And you know, we're ready to go already. And so let's just turn on the water and we're gonna find out. We're gonna check for leaks here. So that feels good. And it's filling up. Again, mine looks so gross in there. That's iron. I have a lot of iron in my water. So it looks like it's filling. I'm just gonna let it fill up. And I'm gonna let it sit for a little bit, and then we're gonna go back and check for leaks. Okay, so I have the top back onto the tank, and there's the toilet. I have not flushed it yet because I wanted to give you some real world tips and advice here also. Let's say that you're in a situation where maybe the repair did not work and it's leaking. So you're like, I do not have time to fix this. And you know, it's like, let's say it, I mean, I have to go to the bathroom. I mean, you have a couple options, but a lot of people don't realize there's a simple solution. For example, even if you didn't have enough money to fix the darn thing right now and you have to wait a week or something, don't panic. You can still use your toilet. What you do, see that bucket there? It's a 5-gallon bucket. It's about half full. And I filled up the toilet bowl here with toilet paper. Just stuff I was using for cleaning. And if you actually had to flush your toilet, you can do it manually with a bucket of water. Just pour that in there, and away you go. All the what's the right word? You know, all your problems are partially solved. The anxiety is gone. You can use your toilet. Don't panic. Some people don't realize that, so I thought I'd point that out. Anyways, the toilet is, we're just gonna give it a little flush. This is a 2-stage, it's an energy efficient toilet. And honestly, I don't know if I should say it on here, I would not buy one of these efficient toilets. They don't flush enough water, and they tend to really get plugged up, especially if you have kids and stuff. They seem to cause a lot of trouble. Because I have another bathroom, fortunately for me, and it has like a normal toilet. It never plugs up. This one does. But here's a bunch of stuff I use that to clean all the rust and that. So we're gonna just let the toilet fill and we'll give her a test. So it's working good. And again, go back. There's no leaks. I've checked the inlet for where the water is and the valve. There's no leaks around there. No leaks from underneath the tank, so we must have done it properly. But again, check it in a few days. Could be a very, very slow leak or something. But I think we're successful here. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. Come back for more. I hope this was helpful. Take care, everyone. Might have to, is it zoomed in a bit right now or out? Maybe leave it out a little bit more because I think the focus goes good. Okay, stop it, then restart it. Okay, so this is one of the 2 bolts that you have to remove, and I was just looking in here and it's so corroded. I didn't even know what this was. There's like a big mass of corrosion there, and I don't know what's going on with that, but